Hi, I'm Donna with Donna's Things. Welcome to my sewing room. Welcome to the space where God and I create beautiful things. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for taking the time to come and see what we're doing over here. And of course, if you're returning, I am so grateful and so thankful for the time that you have been taking. So, I was asked just by two or three people if they could see my sewing room. So, I decided that today I will do a tour of my space where I create these beautiful things. Let's go. So, you enter into my sewing room, and of course, we'll start with what's behind the door. Behind the door, excluding this dress, is where I keep any garments that are unfinished. I don't normally have this many, but these are all fall items, so the weather started getting warm. I wasn't finished with them, so I'll finish those up closer to late August or September. Over here is all of this is jewelry that was gifted to me by a friend when she saw that I was doing the videos. She does paparazzi jewelry. So when she saw I was doing the videos, she gifted me this and a bag full of jewelry so I would have things to wear when I show my garments. Just a few things I keep here. This is a bag that keeps all like masks in here. MEM stands for My Earth Ministries. That's my ministry. This box keeps mats that were already made. And in here, it's like a footstool, but in this chest is where I keep my extra glue guns, tacks, and my staple guns. Then we walk around the room, and over here you'll see this plaque. These are keychains. I like to buy these keychains for when I make purses or little wristlets. I put keychains on them, and you see what it says, happiness is homemade. And I definitely believe that you can create a space for yourself that makes you happy. This is a mannequin that was just gifted to me recently along with the jewelry. And so, of course, this is just a dress that I have made. In here, this is a closet. Now, because the closet in my bedroom is pretty small, my husband uses that, and I actually store my clothing, my personal clothing, in this closet. I will show you a picture of that. I just won't open it right now. We move around, and I have another rack of here. This rack holds pins and brooches. So if I want to make a brooch to put on a garment, or wherever I might want to put it, or make a bracelet, these things are here. This is my wall sort of inspiration, where I keep lists of what I'm making, or if I make large fabric purchases, I put it on here, and all my collections get listed up here. Just a pretty piece of trim that I like, and so on. And then I have another mannequin where once my garment is finished, this I took a picture to show someone with the jewelry to dress on. As we move over, here, this is my tablet where I can sit at my machine and watch videos or join a Zoom. This piece right here is one of my favorite. I don't even use it, but it's actually a pincushion. I went to a quilt show, and a lady was selling them, so I thought that was beautiful. And it's magnetic at the bottom, so you can pick your pins up. They'll be drawn to the bottom of this. This set of drawers here is what I use while I'm sewing. So I have pins, pin cushion over here, safety pins. I keep bobbins that I'm working with at that time. In here, I have my clips. We all love these Wonder clips. And then a little few pieces of who knows what in there. Extra pens and needles and markers I keep here. This one here holds the sewing machine needles, my razor blades, or for my rotary color, and then extra bobbins are here. Of course, here these are the books to all of my machines, and then down here are the things like the nose strips that you need when you're making masks. Pretty much I use these on a daily basis. Then we get over here, and here is where all the magic happens. This is my sewing machine. I have named her Bella, as that name goes back to the 1800s in my family bloodline. I sew on a Juki Exceed F600. I've had her for about 2 years now. Think about getting another machine, but I won't. It has 225 stitches on it. So I embroider on here, I quilt, and then of course I do my sewing. Right here is also just the immediate things I need. My little snippers, some tweezers, the pens I'm working with, our ever-loving seam ripper. And then here, I don't know about anybody else, but those times I prick myself. Here's some peroxide, hand sanitizer, tissue, little gauze, just things I keep there. This wall right here, these are pictures. Well, this is my family, or some of my family, but these pictures are just inspiration for me. I cut it out from a magazine, purchased that photo from Hobby Lobby. I like to look at them. I haven't made any of these garments. They just kind of give me a little bit of excitement. Here's a table here. This is where I keep my serger. My serger is also a Juki MO 654DE. So this serves me pretty good. I do a lot of serging, but I do a lot of French seams. So I really haven't invested in a large serger. Then my threads. So I have several different threads. These threads on the very top are Sewology. My machine does not like that thread. I keep it there because I will do some hand sewing. My machine loves these, the Coats and Clarks thread, but I do have other thread. This is my vision board. I did this board about 3 years ago. Still holds true. Let's get healthy, arise, and be all that you can be. Here we have just things they're just bags that I made that will hold anything I need. Like while I'm using my serger, I might find that I want to keep a couple of things over here. And then of course, we get started here. This is where my cutting board is. So I use like the cabinets that you put together, the mainstays cabinets that you put together, purchased them right at Walmart. I keep books like my sewing books, my jewelry making books. Here is that other piece to my sewing machine. Of course, it holds my different feet and buttonhole maker. Most of the time, I sew with the extension on it. These three things here, containers here, hold my serger threads, and I do have those separated by color. So you see here, you got some colors in here, and then of course you have some color groupings in here. Those are for serging threads. This is where I keep the main thread that I sew from. These are my Gutermann threads. My machine likes the Gutermann threads. So I keep those in here and kept right here. These two cubbies here hold, these are garments that I may need to fix, put a hem, redo the zipper, go back and cut off some buttons, whatever it is when I feel like getting to it. And then this bin holds all the fabric for the unfinished fall items that you saw behind the door. This is my cutting board. Again, I used the mainstays, cabinetry. I put those together. I got this cutting board from Joann's. I believe it's 30, what is it, 33 or, yeah, 33 by 55. Oh, I keep just a picture for inspiration. You can see that I love inspiration by my fabric pieces that just hang on the wall, just giving me a little bit of color. The picture that I have here. This tray stays here. These are the washers, but I covered them to use for pattern weight. So, you know, I had to make them look just a little bit fancy, you know, different times. So these are pattern weights. And then, of course, ever-loving pins. I'm still a pen girl. I like to pin my fabrics down. When you get here, this is just candy that I do. Not just candy. These are ginger chews. I put these in the bag when I give my customers their gifts or, you know, things that I have made. This is my planning book. Excuse me. These 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these hold the project that I am currently working on. So anything I'm working on, the materials will be here, and as I get to different stages, if they're cut out, they'll end up in here. If they are the scrap fabrics that go are here, and in here is when the project has gotten a little bit along and there's actually a garment that is here. Underneath, this is where I keep batting for when I'm quilting. I keep my interfacing here, and here I keep the felt that I bought for my felt jewelry making. As we come over, this is where all my notions are. So I have zippers here. I keep them in these plastic bags, and I keep them by size. So I have quite a few zippers. Then this one, I use the drawers for my bias tape. Under here, this one's just empty. I haven't put anything in here yet. This drawer down here holds all my buttons. This drawer here, this holds like the elastic black and white that you use for making masks. It holds like pocketbook handles that when I'm making a pocketbook, or chains, you know, for purses are in there. And in this one, this is where I keep all of my elastic and my some other kinds of tapes. I do have 2 other cutting boards. When I'm going downstairs or in another room to cut, I may bring one of those, and I keep all of my scissors here. My pink and shears, my rotary cutters, my embroidery scissors. These are good straight cutting scissors. These 2 are my really good scissors. My favorite of all are my Gingers. My Ginger scissors, those, and right here, marking tools. So you can see that I have everything right here that I need in order to start working on my project. Just a clock. This is another dress form mannequin that I have, and this is just some inspiration that I have. I tell people that whenever I get to meet Viola Davis, this is what I'm going to be wearing. And then, of course, I have Mom with my picture. This is where my patterns are. But before I show you my patterns, if we could just get in this nook right here. There's cabinetry over here also. And over here is all my crafting. So the bowl cozies that I make down at the bottom, those are all quilts. I have belts. I have pocketbooks. And then, of course, I have my headgear down there where I make kufis and head wraps. Then my patterns. So my patterns, I keep vintage patterns, blouses, skirts and pants, dresses, suits, and then men, children, and loungewear. We go on around. These are just some pictures from 2007 that I had, caricatures, 2006, that I had done in New York. This is just a favorite pocketbook. These are my PDF patterns. And then I have cutting mats here, and I keep a couple of my cutting rulers in this bag down here. Behind here is where I keep bolts of interfacing or the wrap and go, things like that. This is my ironing station. And so, of course, I use a cutting board here. There's another inspirational. That's Psalm 139. You are beautiful, for you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And then, of course, my employer gave me that. I'm kind of a big deal. Yes, I am. So here on my pegboard, I keep pins and clips, more clips. There's snaps in here. There's hook and eyes that I keep in there. And then, of course, these scissors down below. These are my paper scissors. This is just some decoration. This quilted cover, I made this. So I iron on here. Then, of course, my ironing board. And in here, I keep like a little bit of oil that I might need. Freight check is kept in there. Stitch Witchery and my labels. And then here, any pattern that's here are the patterns that I am currently working on. Lint brush, ironing fabric, extra fabric, more sayings. Underneath here is where my ironing board, my iron, an extra iron, my baby iron, the water cooler. And then in each of these bins are fabric scraps for making masks or fabric for my purses and things like that. And then, of course, I have this where I keep my ham and my clapper. And then, of course, in this one, I keep the glue gun that I use regularly along with some of the tape. And then my final thing in this room is this bin right here. And in this bin might end up with anything. Right now, I'm starting to collect a bunch of seam rippers, different type of scissors, sewing kits, pin cushions, anything that I might need for my upcoming sewing classes that I will begin. So, this is my space. It's not a very large room. I think the room is 10 by 12, but I'm very, very comfortable in here. And somebody asked me, does your room always look like this? And I'm going to be honest, most of the time it does. I do like to clean up before I go to bed. And then, of course, I definitely clean up before every project. So you haven't seen where my fabric is kept. Because I don't have the closet, I keep my fabric in a separate room. So let me show you that. Let's go.